A northeast of England knife man has been sentenced to a hospital order. Now, well, I've been reading through this story, I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but when I said the title, because this is what the title is that's wrote all over all the articles that I have read through, and I've read through 5 trying to find out exactly when it happened. But when I'm reading it, I should have said a northeast bacon, because that's exactly what he is. You all know what a bacon is on this channel, but a bacon isn't just someone who's done something to a youngster. A bacon is also a rapist, and that's exactly what Byron Stubbs is. And when I've been reading through this article, like I said, I've read through 5 different articles to try and get the exact timeline, because obviously I like to come on and give you the full truth and tell you when it happened. I'm assuming it happened around about Christmas time, because when it says northeast knife man, he actually stabbed up a 7-year-old boy. This is a very harrowing and dark story to go through, so do bear with us, people, because when it involves little ones, I mean, you'll be classed as a bacon for doing that anyways. In prison slang term, a bacon is a nonce, a bacon bonds rhymes with nonce, but this type of person inside a prison would be on the bacon wings. Anybody who's on there is classed as a bacon. If you're ever stabbing a 7-year-old, you're a bacon. He's not only that, but he raped a woman. And that is what is sickening about this case, because I'm going to read it to you. And when it's reading out about what the psychiatrist said, and he didn't get sentenced to prison, he got sentenced to a hospital order, an indefinite hospital order, where in my eyes he should have been sent to prison so he could face real punishment. Yes, they said he's mentally unwell and he was on a schizophrenic episode, but it was brought on by himself through alcohol and that use. We all know what that is. I'll not say the word on here because it will flag up. You've got to be careful with the terms. So he had a schizophrenic episode because of his own actions. Not only that, when I'm going to read out here about what the psychiatrist said about why he should be in hospital, he was on bail for rape. Somebody who's got a history of mental illness like this, and they're saying how dangerous he is, he shouldn't be on the streets. He needs to be in hospital so he can get the right medication so that he doesn't attack anybody again in the way that he has. So why, after he was locked up for rape of that poor woman, and then he got released on bail, while that lass, the poor lass, was petrified knowing that this dangerous predator was still on the streets. Now I'm going to read out the story here. There's quite a few different ones, but I'll pick a few and I'll put them all together. So Byron Stubbs, who was seriously mentally unwell, was on bail for the rape when he attempted to murder the little one and then stabbed 2 women. Murderous Byron Stubbs tried to kill a 7-year-old kid while telling him he was the devil during a shocking stabbing spree. Stubbs was on bail for raping a woman when he launched a violent attack with a kitchen knife on the youngster and 2 women. Stubbs, 25, who has a serious mental health issues, knifed the boy in the stomach, arm and hand and left him seriously injured and traumatized. He also inflicted injuries on the women, one of whom as she tried to protect the little one. Newcastle Crown Court heard that after the attack in Sunderland, Stubbs rang 999 saying he had stabbed 3 people. Jolan Perks, prosecuting, said he tried to kill them. One of the adult victims also rang 999, and the kid could be heard in the background in significant pain and distress. Police attended and found Stubbs standing outside in the street covered in blood on his hands and clothes. There was also significant blood splatter inside the house. The court heard Stubbs had been drinking for several days, and this had exasperated his psychosis and had shown concerning behaviour about the existence of God and the devil. Now let me just say something. Is his mental health issues down to that use? We all know sniff use brings on psychosis. If he's been on that for several days, it doesn't matter if he's got issues or not. If you go on a fucking 7-day bender, you are going to have psychosis. You'll be in the peephole. You'll be looking out the windows, every little noise sketched out your head. But do you go on to stab little ones and do what he's done? Do you fucking shite? On the day of the attack, he armed himself with a kitchen knife, which a lot of people do when they're out of the nut. Skitched, paranoid, who's after shit? I like to carry this for protection. But you go on to do that to little ones. No fucking excuse at all. Taking a woman by surprise by aiming blows at her throat and face, she suffered a stab wound to her ear. He also then attacked the 7-year-old, stabbing him in the abdomen and leaving him with a serious wound which went into his liver and from which fat was protruding. How horrific is that? He also had a stab wound to his arm which went down to the bone, a stab wound to his forearm and wound to the palm of his hand. Mr. Perk said he had the injury to his abdomen penetrated any deeper, had he had it any deeper, there would have been a significant risk of fatality. A second woman had tried to stop Stubbs stabbing the little one by getting between them, and as she tried to protect him, she was also stabbed. She suffered a wound to her finger, scratches to her forearm, a wound to her hand, a wound to her arm, a bruise to her elbow, and abrasions to her breast and back of the head. The court heard that during the attack, Stubbs was telling the child he was the devil. I hope that child can recover from that 7-year-old little one having to face a fucked up frenzied man like that, Bacon doing that to him, saying you're the devil and trying to take his fucking life. He should have went straight to prison, Durham jail. I'm sure the lads in Durham, Nick, would have took care of that fucking monster. The child's mother described the impact of the horrific attack on my son. She said he was a happy little boy until this happened. Of course he would have been. And then that wrong'un went and done that. She said his behaviour had massively declined since the attack. She added, when someone is behind him, he freaks out. I believe this is due to him being stabbed from behind. She added that he is petrified of knives and struggles to deal with situations such as his parents washing dishes. The woman went on, how will he get over being stabbed? Seeing my child screaming in agony and terrified after being stabbed is something I will never get out of my head. We thought we were going to lose our son, and no parent should have to go through that. Our lives changed forever due to the trauma caused by Byron Stubbs, the absolute fucking wrong'un. One of the women who was stabbed said in a victim impact statement, I will never forget how terrified I felt. The court heard Stubbs had been sectioned in 2022 but had continued drinking and consuming drugs, exasperating his mental health symptoms. His family described him being let down by the system. Let down by the system. He should have been sectioned by the fucking system. Stubbs have no fixed aboard. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. Because he's off his nut all the time and no one will take him in, probably. Like, which 25-year-old has no fixed aboard, nowhere to live? He'd be living somewhere. Obviously not with the partners if he's doing that. And his mother or whoever, he should have been living with one of the family members to keep an eye on him. Who has one previous conviction for blackmail, pleaded guilty to attempted murder of the child and wounding with intent of the two women. He also admitted raping a woman after she fell unconscious while heavily intoxicated. He later said he had recorded the attack before deleting it. Stubbs was sentenced to a hospital order with a restriction order, meaning he will be held in a secure hospital. He must also sign the S Offenders Register, the Bacon Register. Now listen to this. Listen to his barrister who was defending him. Josh Joe Manting, defending, said, "It's difficult not to be moved by the thought of a 7-year-old in his Christmas pajamas having to face what he faced. Mr. Stubbs is very sorry for what has happened." So what is he trying to say? It's difficult for Stubbs, it's difficult for the Bacon, the wrong'un, to be moved by the thought of the 7-year-old in his Christmas pajamas. Why the fuck did he do it in his first place? Yes, people can suffer from schizophrenia, but if you're getting off your nut and taking that and bringing illnesses on yourself, then you're fucking man enough to do something yourself. I know from personal experiences of being fucked up on shit, but you don't go and do something to fucking little ones and women like that. What he's done, he is suffering from a serious mental illness. He has a psychosis illness, likely to be schizophrenia. Likely to be. Was he not being assessed like? Did they not already know this when he was sectioned in 2022? It doesn't appear to be any sort of premeditated attack on him. So this is what the defendant saying, Josh Norman. It was very unfortunate the child was there when this happened. It doesn't appear to be any sort of premeditated attack on him. So please take this into account and give him a lighter sentence. Absolutely ridiculous. Doesn't matter what sort of fucking mind you're in. If you see a little one, you don't think he's the devil and going to start doing that to him, trying to take his life. And another thing about this, when he's pleaded guilty, but it's already said that he rang them up and said he tried to kill 3 people. So if he's tried to kill 3 people, why then is the other 2 charges, where was it at? Attempted murder of a child and wounding with intent of the 2 women, when he's already said he tried to kill them. So then why the fuck is it wounding with intent of the 2 women? That is an absolute disgrace. It should have been 3 attempted murders. It should have been life in prison with a minimum of 20 years. Now I'm going to read you another part of an article here, because like I said, I've went through a few different ones, and Josh Robert Adams said, while it was clear Stubbs was a dangerous offender who posed a significant risk of causing serious harm, he needed intensive and enduring treatment. Right, I'll just go a little bit further back so you know what I'm on about here. Right? So since the attacks, Stubbs, who had previously been sectioned in a mental health hospital, had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, with delusions and auditory hallucinations around God and the devil. So why in that other article did it say what his barrister had said likely to be, when it's there in black and fucking white? They know all about this because it says previously. A mental health doctor told the court Stubbs would pose a high risk of harm to others, even if successfully treated for his schizophrenia, if he continued to choose to drink and take drugs. So what does that mean? If he is to be released in 5 years, if they say he's been treated, he's of sound mind, he's went 2 or 3 years without showing any psychosis, any schizophrenia, any delusions, he's now fixed, we can let him out on the streets. He goes to the shop, gets himself some drink, gets himself some sniff. And what happens? Little ones, women and people are in danger again. So how the fuck does that sentence actually work? Yes, they can keep him indefinitely for the rest of his life. But if they're saying he can be successfully treated, but if he continued to choose and take sniff, he's going to be a danger. So how do you ever know that at any point when he is released, even if it's 20 years, if he drinks and sniffs, he's then a danger? He should never be let out of fucking prison, especially for what he has done to that little one and raping a woman as well. The other psychiatrist said he had a long history of delusional beliefs, had shown signs of high levels of violence and aggression, and had domestically abused several partners. So when I went on to say about Stubbs' family members have said they feel he is being let down by the system. He hasn't been let down by the system. This family of this 7-year-old and these other 2 women and the woman who's been raped has been let down by the fucking system, not Stubbs. Judge Robert Adams said, while it was clear Stubbs was a dangerous offender who posed a significant risk of causing serious harm, he needed intensive and enduring treatment. He needed intensive and enduring treatment of the prisoners. That is my thought on it. He said the risks to the public from Stubbs were very great and would remain so for a very long time. The public will be better protected by a hospital order, which would include ongoing psychiatric treatment rather than Stubbs being put in prison, the judge said. Now, people that get put into hospitals are treated as patients. They're not treated like prisoners or criminals. They have a much better time. So when is this fucking Roman going to endure some punishment instead of being in a hospital? Yes, he can't get out of the hospital. You're still locked in. But I believe, yes, the judge might say he needs intensive and enduring treatment. Right, put him in the hospital, give him the intensive enduring treatment. Once he's treated and well and better, then give him the fucking prison sentence. There is no justice in this, and I bet you any money, the family members will be watching this, and I bet you any money, you can see in the comments how let down you feel about this, a hospital order. Like I've just said, some people that have been given hospital orders, an indefinite hospital order, have been released after 5 years. Now, I don't want you worrying thinking, shit, he might be out in 5 years, because that'll not be the case in this one. They will keep him for a long time. So the judge went on to say, had he been jailed, this is an even bigger insult to the family. Had he have been jailed, Stubbs would have got 15 years with 4 years extended license, the court heard. Stubbs must also sign the Bacon Register indefinitely. So let's just go over what the judge said, right? The judge said, had he have been jailed, Stubbs, the Bacon, would have got 15 years with 4 years extended license. Meaning, obviously, when he's out, the license is extended. 15 years. I do believe 15 years, because it has changed. It was half the sentence, so it would have been 7.5. But I believe for cases like this, it would have been 2/3. So it would have maybe 10 years inside of prison. So that is an absolute insult. For the fucking grape itself, it should be 15 years. Then for doing that to a 7-year-old, it should have been life with a minimum of 15 years. Then the 2 women that's trying to protect the little one. It is an absolute fucking insult. And then he's added more insult, saying, had he have been jailed, he would have got 15 years. Had he have been jailed, in my fucking eyes, it should have been life with a minimum of 20 years. Put them on the normal locations with the real lads. Let them get some proper justice of the fucking Geordies and the Mackhams down in Durham before he's then sent on to HMP Frankland, where he would have endured more punishment had he have went on normal location. But obviously, this type of person, his family members that are watching will probably be upset by what I'm saying about him, but it's fucking facts. He is an absolute wrong'un for what he done. If he knew he had these illnesses, psychosis, and what he could be capable of, believing in God and the fucking devil, and then he's going on to drink and sniff and bring it on himself, he's brought everything on himself. He should have never been out to go on to commit these crimes. He should have been jailed or sectioned after the grape. But when I didn't mention it in this one either. He only admitted to it because when he was in the police station, sobered up, petrified, saying, "Give us me medication for me schizophrenia," he's skitzing out and he's thinking, "Shit, the coppers have got me phone." He's then said, "There's a video on there of me raping a woman." So that is where the fucking admission has come from. It came from him skitzing out in the police station thinking, "Shit, they've got me phone. They're going to fucking find out that it was true that I did rape the woman when she was heavily intoxicated." Not only that, he videoed it and kept it for all that time. And the evidence was there for plain to fucking see. He should have been made to hand over his phone when he was arrested for the rape and give them, obviously they can't force you to open your phone, but if it's a case like this for rape and there's suspicion that there's a video on there of you doing that, if you don't give your pin or hand your phone over to show them that you didn't do it, then fair enough. But if you are not doing that, you're not going to give them your PIN number to get into your phone, and it's a rape charge, it should have been straight remanded into prison so they can look into it. But that is just my thoughts, people. Let me know exactly what you think. I know for a fact a lot of people from the Northeast will be watching this video because it will be getting shared around. Obviously, with me being from the Northeast, a lot of me fans, me subscribers are from the Northeast. This video will be getting shared far and wide. Let me know your exact thoughts, people, on this absolute wrong'un and bacon. Because like I say, after a number of years, if it's only brought on by drinking and sniffing, he's not going to be doing that inside of a hospital. So he will be getting released probably a lot quicker than what he would have done if he went to prison. And that is why I'm saying, yes, fair enough, send him to the hospital, give him some treatment, but then when he is of sound mind and ready to go back into society, put him in the prison society, not the public society. Get me fucking drift, people? Anyways, I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you are still enjoying the content. And if you are, remember to comment, like and subscribe. And please do share the video across all your social media channels. Share it far and wide and let people know exactly what goes on this channel. I give you the straight facts and I talk the fucking truth. And I tell you exactly how I feel and I come across as genuine as I do. Unless the videos that I did put on recently intoxicated, which will never happen again. Yes, I made a fool of myself, but would I have ever done anything like that? Not a fucking chance. Take care, people, and more importantly, stay safe.